The best traditional Romanian cake? Albinita, Claudia, or whatever name it goes by. And from those answers, I realized that I actually don't have this recipe on my channel, nor on Instagram, nor anywhere else, so I absolutely had to make it. And now, during the holidays, when I think it fits perfectly, it's a cake you can either make in parts, meaning the cream and the layers separately, and keep them for a while, then assemble them, or make it all at once. It keeps very well in the fridge for a long period of time, and it's actually better after 2-3 days. Hi, I'm Robert, and from today's recipe you'll get a 20 by 30 centimeter tray, about 1.7-1.8 kilograms of cake, and let's get started. You can start either with the layers or with the cream. Both need to sit a bit too cool. I'll start with the layers, for which I put into a small saucepan, not very large, 90 grams of oil, 90 grams of milk, 135 grams of sugar and 80 grams of honey, and we'll heat them just until the sugar dissolves. We don't want to heat them too much. The flavor we want in these layers is, obviously, honey. These are honey layers. I don't want a caramel flavor, and that's why I don't try to boil the ingredients here. I don't try to caramelize the sugar. If you like the caramel flavor more than the honey flavor, then you'll probably want to heat it much more. If it gets to around 40-45 degrees, maximum 50 degrees, and the sugar has dissolved, that's enough. We continue with 1 egg, which I add directly because I didn't heat this mixture too much. If you heat it over 45 degrees, let's say over 50 degrees, you'll need to let it cool a bit, because if you add the egg to a mixture that's too hot, the egg will cook and we don't want that. So we add the egg and mix with a whisk. Then we add 7.5 grams, or about a teaspoon, of baking soda. This baking soda interacts with the honey, with the acidity in the honey, and will give the darker color of the layers. Of course, this color also depends on the type of honey you use. I used acacia honey, which is lighter, so my layers will be lighter. If you use polyflower honey or a darker honey, the layers will be darker, but you'll see that they darken over time anyway. After 12 hours, after 24 hours, the baking soda continues to interact with the honey in the layers, and as time passes, the layers slowly darken. Finally, 460 grams of flour, which I add all at once, and I mix well with a spatula. I took out the dough and wrapped it in plastic wrap, and don't be afraid that it's too soft, that's how it should be. Here I also want to mention that there are recipes that use butter in this dough, and my recipe uses oil. The difference is the texture of the layers. Oil stays soft even at low temperatures, while butter hardens at low temperatures. That's the difference. A layer made with oil will stay softer, while one made with butter will be a bit firmer, but the butter layer will have a better taste because butter adds flavor, while oil is neutral and adds nothing. But here I prefer to taste the honey, which is why I prefer the oil-based layer. And additionally, oil tends to retain moisture in the layer for a longer period of time, meaning it dries out less. Enough talking, we put it in the fridge for at least 1 hour, and meanwhile we can take care of the cream. For the cream, I put into a saucepan 500 grams of milk, 125 grams of sugar, and a bit of vanilla, and I bring the milk to a boil. Then add 50 grams of semola and cook it, stirring continuously with a whisk until it thickens very well. At the end, after the cream has boiled, I add 150 grams of butter directly into it. It doesn't matter much whether the butter is cold or warm, because it is not such a large amount compared to the rest of the ingredients. What matters is to mix fairly well while the butter melts, after which we transfer the cream into a bowl, cover it with plastic wrap directly on the surface to prevent condensation, and either leave it at room temperature for a longer time, more quickly, put it in the fridge for a few hours to cool completely so we can assemble the cake. The dough has been in the fridge for about an hour. You can see it's still quite soft, and I'll divide it into 4 equal portions, about 225 grams each. I cut baking paper exactly to the size I need, 20 by 30 centimeters, and I spread the dough directly on the baking paper, transfer it to the tray, and bake it like this, so it's easier and I don't need to add flour to the dough and make it too stiff. After you spread the layer, prick it all over with a docking tool or a fork and bake it at 165 degrees with fan between 5 and 5.5 minutes, no more, because we don't want to overbake the layers and make them hard. They need to be fluffy and soft when baking is finished. Check that they are slightly browned. While the first layer is baking, you have enough time to spread the next one. Take one out, put the next one in, spread the next layer, and so on, so you move quickly and the process doesn't take too long. The layers are baked and cooled, the cream has cooled as well, and besides the semolina cream, we also have jam. I like to use apricot jam. I couldn't find an apricot jam thick enough that wouldn't run out of the cake, so I took a lower quality apricot jam and boiled it a bit to reduce the water content and thicken it. Be careful not to boil it too much and turn it into marmalade that's too firm. So not too little, not too much. It's simple. Half of the semolina cream, about 350 grams for one layer. Then a layer of cake, followed by the jam in the middle, another layer, more semolina cream, and finally the last layer. Look at the layers and keep the nicest one for the top. Cover the cake with plastic wrap, and I like to place a cutting board or something flat and heavy on top when I put it in the fridge, so it ends up perfectly straight when I cut it. Because when you spread the cream, it's possible to have more cream in one spot and less in other, and pressing it between two flat surfaces with weight on top makes the cake perfectly even. Into the fridge for at least 6 hours, so everything sets and stabilizes, and after that, if you want, you can take it out and keep it in a cool place like a pantry or balcony, still covered so it doesn't dry out. It's even better the second or third day after resting. It keeps very well over time, and as I said in the beginning, you can make the layers ahead of time, wrap them and keep them for a few days in the fridge or even longer in the freezer. The cream can also be made a day ahead and kept in the fridge, so you can spread the work over several days instead of doing everything at the last minute when you still have the Christmas tree, the sarmale and everything else to take care of. This is how the cake turned out. I don't like adding powdered sugar on cakes at all, so I'll leave it exactly like this, but if you want, you can of course dust it with powdered sugar and enjoy it during the holidays. It works very well. For more recipes like this, don't forget to like, subscribe to my channel, and I'm waiting for you on Instagram with lots of useful tips.